Coming up, we have some seafood enchiladas and an awesome new salsa, twist on salsa. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And we got some seafood enchiladas, which that's good any time of the year.
Absolutely.
And some fruit salsa. I
Yes.
got from a coworker, Kim at work. She gave me this recipe, and you think salsa, spicy, but this is fruit.
Yeah,
It's
this
good
is
for
fruit.
anybody.
Yes.
Kids love it.
It will be, yes. And the seafood enchilada recipe, it's just really, really good. I got it out of a cookbook.
Okay.
And Susie Viverka is the one that submitted it in this cookbook that I have.
Okay.
And we know that Susie, that's Ray Viverka's wife, is a tremendous cook. So you know this recipe is good.
Okay.
So we're going to get started here. We're going to start with 4 ounces of cream cheese, and you want that kind of at room temperature because you're going to mix that, and a teaspoon of water here because we're going to mix the cream cheese in with that. And I'm going to just use a wooden spoon. You don't need to be whipping it or whatever. And it asks for 3/4 teaspoon of cumin powder.
Okay.
So we're going to put that in. And it asks just for a little bit of salt, just kind of, I'm going to put about maybe a half a teaspoon at the most in there.
Okay.
So I'm going to just mix that, and because, the water will help the cream cheese kind of, make it a little bit more creamy and softer. And if it makes it nice, if you have that cream cheese at room temperature, it's easier just to mix up there.
Right.
See, so just, and I really like seafood enchiladas, and I like that white sauce. Mm-hmm. And this is what that's on there, is that white sauce. Okay, so you can see that didn't take long for that to mix.
Okay.
And before we started, I did put the oven on at 350 to heat that up because it takes like about 40 minutes to bake.
Okay.
So the oven is already preheated to 350 degrees.
Does the pan need to be
We're
greased?
going to spray that lightly, yes.
Okay.
And then we're going to heat up our tortillas in the microwave just for a little bit, make them a little softer so that they're going to be a little bit easier to handle, and they will, roll a little easier.
Okay. How many enchiladas does this recipe make?
It says about 8 to 10.
Okay.
And that, so I'll just get this mixed up here. Okay, so we're going to add half a cup of chopped onion.
Okay.
Mix that in there. And then the seafood, I bought the frozen seafood it was a pound.
Okay.
It says to have about 4 cups of seafood, and it's about right at that 4 cups. Maybe it's just a shy of 4th cup or whatever, but so that pound of seafood frozen is just perfect.
Okay.
So we'll just mix that up, and then we're going to add the seafood in here.
Okay.
And then we'll put them on the tortillas. And then we're going to make our sauce with this milk, cream of chicken soup, and some sour cream.
Okay.
And that. So you just want this enough so that it's going to be able to stick together, and that you're going to be able to roll that in the tortillas.
Okay. Well, and seafood is something that sometimes it's acquired taste. Not always young people like it, but
Right, but
it's something that's
it's good.
It is good, and it's a specialty for a lot of
It's a
people,
nice
too.
change from the usual, beef, hamburger, pork or whatever. So, like I said, once in a while, just to throw something different in there.
Yes.
So we'll go get those tortillas. And yeah, that makes it just warm so that they're going to be able to roll up nicely here. And we're going to, when you're rolling them and you're going to fill them, you're going to roll it and you're going to put the edges down so that they don't open up on you. So what I would suggest about, it's going to be maybe about a half cup, fourth to a half cup of filling in each one.
Okay.
And we could just get that one rolled and see, have you put that in there. In fact, we can just lay some more out here and we both can be doing that.
Well, you put the mixture on and I'll start rolling.
Okay. And that frozen seafood crab is so easy to work with, and it's, not real expensive. I've, many a times, which, I watch the specials, and that it's like $2.99. I think it's normally $3.99 for if it is not on sale, but they do run it quite frequently for the $2.99, and I'll stock up on it because I love, and I think you too, will make a seafood salad.
Oh, definitely.
At noon in that and stuff, so. Okay, we've got the last tortilla made here. And did you count them to see how many we have?
No, I didn't. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Got 11 in there.
11, yep. They say from 10 to 11, 10 to 12. So we're right on there, huh?
We are.
Okay. Now you can just use the same bowl, and we're going to mix a cup of sour cream in here.
Okay.
And we'll also do a can of cream and chicken soup, so we'll have you open that. And we're going to do a cup of milk. And it says, which is optional, a tablespoon of chopped jalapeno.
Okay.
So if you like a little bit spicier or whatever, go ahead and I did chop a small jalapeno pepper, and equals about a tablespoon. And like I said, that's certainly optional.
We'll definitely add some kick.
Just a little bit of, kick to it, a little spice there. Okay, so we'll gently mix this, and then we pour it over the enchiladas, and it's going to bake about 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to cover it with some foil while we're baking, and then the last 5 minutes we're going to sprinkle some shredded cheese on top of it, and just bake that for probably another 5 minutes, just till it's melted. So you just want to get this mixed nice here so it's all nice and creamy when you're pouring it over there. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to add that tablespoon of chopped jalapeno pepper.
Well, if there's an option for hot, I know this family always goes for it.
That's right. You know your dad likes hot stuff there, so.
If you were cooking and you were having all the grandkids over, you might omit that.
Yeah. Or you could just sprinkle it over half of them.
Right.
Instead of adding it into the sauce, just go ahead and sprinkle that there. So we're going to just pour this over here.
And that makes a very generous portion of the sauce, so it's going to be a very good dish.
Yes, it does. And you want it nice and creamy, and that sauce is definitely what helps make that dish just a little extra special. And then adding that cheese on it too.
Well, sure. Okay.
Okay, so let's just spread that out there. And like I said, we preheated the oven to 350.
Okay.
So we're going to just take some foil and cover that. And I'll have you open up the oven door for me, please.
Okay.
And like I said, we're going to set the timer to, I just got a new stove, so I'm still learning all the ins and outs of it, so. Okay, here's my cooking time. 40 minutes there. Okay, got it set.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll get this cleaned up a little bit here, and then we're going to start in with our fruit salsa.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, we're going to make our fruit salsa, but we're going to make our own chips for the salsa.
Okay.
So we're going to take some just flour tortillas and any size that you have, and what you do is just put a little water on top of them. Just spread that, and then we put some cinnamon and sugar on, and we're going to bake them. So, you know, with the fruit salsa, you kind of want a little sweeter chip than you would normally have for your well, I've got the oven on to bake the tortillas, which it's loud enough. It lets us know it's ready.
It does.
And
Give me an
that's
alarm
so.
in the morning.
Yes. Okay, I would probably just put a little bit more water on so the cinnamon and sugar stays on top of that. And I've just got a little bit of always a mixture here, cinnamon and sugar together in a little container, because I find that when I make a pie or something and I sprinkle cinnamon and sugar on, it's just easier to have it in a little shaker.
Oh, sure.
And that. So how about if I turn this around and you finish that one? And we're going to bake the chips. We're going to put it in there about 6 minutes I'm going to start with.
Okay.
And then we're going to just watch that. But before we actually bake them, though, because when you bake them, they're going to be hard, so we want to cut them.
Okay.
So we're going to cut them just with a pizza cutter, and I'm going to just put two on top of each other, and then we can easily, cut that and just make it kind of in a triangle like you make your, you'd see your chips.
And this recipe, I mean, it's easy to do. One of the girls that used to work at Consolidated, Kim,
spread those out.
Gave me this recipe, Kim Burger, and I haven't made it for a while, but it's something that's very fun to make and also very tasty.
Yeah. And the pizza cutter works just really nice. And I use the one that has the plastic so it doesn't cut my pan, which makes it nice. So it's kind of different, to make your own chip. You kind of always think that, you're going to buy chips.
Right.
And that, so certainly makes it quite economical, and you can make as many as you like. And they will also keep, you store it in an airtight container and stuff. You can keep them and that for a little while, but you got to know that, but the flour tortillas actually has a preservative in it. Mm-hmm. So they're going to keep, quite some time. Okay. They never last that long, so I haven't had to find out how long it would take for them to spoil. Okay, so I'm going to just put that in the oven. And with the chips, what I like to do is I like to put them on my convection bake, because then the airflow is better, and it actually will, they'll get done a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Plus, they will be, more even. So while that's baking, and we probably should set the timer for about 6 minutes so that, as we start our salsa, that we don't forget about the chips.
Sounds good.
Don't want them to burn, so I'm going to go over here and 6 minutes isn't very long, so we'll set this aside. And our fruit, again, it's so optional to what you may have or what you personally like. And that I'm going to use some apples, kiwi, and strawberries.
Okay.
But I thought, pears would be great in there. When you have your pears, I've never tried it with grapes. Did you ever make it with grapes?
No, just these fruits right here.
Well, with that.
And also the orange.
Okay, we just need to snap that in, and I'm going to just chop that in my food processor, and I'm going to start with the apples. And you want it fairly fine, but not, pureed is what
Okay.
So we're going to just put that in there and just blend that up. And I'm going to just kind of more or less put it on a pulse so that I don't overdo it.
All right. And with the apples, you can leave the peelings on. You can take it off, whatever your preference there. There's a lot of vitamins and peelings.
There's a lot of nutrition in apples, so you want to make sure that that is something, especially, because you're chopping it, that you are, they're fine. You're not even going to notice that there's those peelings on there. I'm going to do that just a little bit more there. And if you don't have a food processor to put it in, you certainly can just chop it by hand, or, you may have a different type of a chopper. Okay, so I'll just have you empty that in there. Okay. And we should find a spatula again. You can never have too many of those on hand, spatulas.
Kitchen essential.
Absolutely. So it does take just a little longer for your apple to chop versus, your kiwi and strawberry. That's a little softer, so that's going to go quickly.
All right.
5 minutes, 6 minutes went by already?
No, it's just saying 4 minutes. You're still just
Oh.
talking to us.
Oh, it's talking to us. Oh, okay. We're having the new stove, and I guess, too, when you open the door, you let a little heat out. So now it has to heat back up to the temperature that you put it on. And now it's just telling us that's where it's at. Okay. And I didn't want to chop the apples, earlier, just because, apples will brown quite a bit. And being I had them chopped, I didn't want, to put, any other added liquids or lemon juice or something on that.
Right.
Although we're going to put orange juice on that.
And this is an awesome recipe if you are hosting a party, or just say, for instance, a baby shower, a wedding shower, anything like that, and any get together. This is something unique and different.
That yes. And it's always fun to have something just kind of sweet too versus salt. Kiwi is not going to take much to chop. And what we're doing, you can make any size of recipe you want. I'm adding a couple apples, strawberries, a couple of kiwis. Depends upon how much big batch you want.
Sure.
And so, like I said, the kiwi really chops quickly here. Okay. Might have one little chunk in here that needs to be still. Cutting some strawberries in here. The recipe says you can use frozen strawberries, thawed, but hey, when it's strawberry season and you have nice fresh strawberries, that's pretty much what you want to do, is use fresh ones. Okay, let's check our chips and see how those are doing. Okay, I think we're going to go just a little longer.
Yep, they're crisping up, but they're a little soft yet.
Yeah, just a little bit there. And so I'll put that on for probably another 3 minutes. All right, let's see how we have this. Let's give it another little mix here.
And this does tend to make a big batch if you make the full recipe. So again, if you just want to have a little dessert, a healthy dessert for your family, cut the recipe in half.
Yes, absolutely.
Put this in one
Well,
strawberry
Didn't chop up there too well. And your strawberries will definitely, chop a little bit quicker and that, so kind of just watch that. And this will be it. And then it asks for us to squeeze an orange. And we're also going to use some of the rind for the orange zest, just to add a little bit to that. So, and it is nice that you can make that as big in a recipe or as little as you want, just because they're. Okay, let's see if we got that. Okay, I think that's chopped pretty good there. And like I said, once that bowl gets there, your hands are slick. It's a little bit harder to take it out. Maybe your hands are a little drier. There you go.
All right. I just want to squeeze that orange juice in then.
We'll set that aside. Yeah.
And these strawberries that you had picked up are very good. I know that strawberries, another good thing to do with strawberries too is strawberry pie.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to give you a little bit bigger spoon. And you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of apple jelly.
Okay.
And sometimes it's difficult to find the apple jelly. You can use like apricot preserves too, or just pretty much what you may have on hand. Just because even, raspberry jelly, just because, all the fruit will work very nicely. So before I squeeze the juice out of the orange, I'm going to just grate, for a little bit of zest here, that orange zest.
And that doesn't take too long at all.
Not at all. And my little grater here, like you commented earlier, must be about as old as you are, and I think it's probably even older.
But it still works, so.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with utensils that are old as long as they still work.
Yeah. Okay, it's going again, so let's just double check them.
Okay.
Okay, well they are getting nice and they're getting a little crispy, and once they cool, they're going to get a little firmer too. I think that would be about the right temperature. So I want to make sure that I have the right temperature yet here on my enchiladas that we're making, and we'll go there. Okay. So we'll just let that in the pan and cool, and you can already smell that oranges, can't you?
Definitely.
So
anytime you grate fresh citrus, you're gonna have that wonderful smell.
Yep. And if you don't have oranges on hand, I think you could pretty much use orange juice too, and that. And if you don't have the zest, well, orange zest, you can buy just that and have that, it comes in a little can, spice can. Okay.
All right.
There. Now we're going to add that to our fruit salsa.
Just get that mixed up good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just blend that well. And the orange juice is just going to, keep everything, fresh, and the apples won't turn color. And that's what that's all about, but it gives, it's just a good flavor. So I'm going to just go over here and I'm going to put a couple of chips on a platter here. And then we'll be able to be serving that here just just a little bit, and you may even want to put that in just a little bowl, or you could put it just, right in there. But, I have these little bowls. I think that would just be really nice in there. Oh, that smells good.
It does, and it's a nice light dessert too.
Absolutely.
Healthy.
Yes. And we all can use that.
Yes. Okay, this will be a great great light dessert after our enchiladas, which will be done in just a little bit.
And if you can't wait, you can even have some before.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, I think the enchiladas are just about done, so we're going to take it out and sprinkle it with cheese and just put it back in the oven for a short time. So
okay.
I'll have you close up the oven there for me when I take this out. Oh, I can smell that seafood there.
Oh, it's bubbling hot.
It is. Okay. So we're going to just take that off there. And it says to put about a half a cup of grated cheese on top. Well, to me, that's not very much.
Okay.
So I'm going to just, want to just sprinkle it so it's nice and even all over. And we'll just put it back in the oven just for about, just a couple of minutes. It won't take long, and that'll be all melted and ready to serve.
And we don't need to cover this back up when we put it back. We're just putting it in to melt the cheese.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. We don't need to put anything on there. And if you put the foil back on, it would just all stick to the foils. So let's just put it back over there and put that in just for, just takes a couple of minutes because that is very hot already. And then we're going to be able to serve that.
Sounds great.
Okay. And we'll just bring that over here.
Okay.
Oh, that looks good.
Looks wonderful.
It does. Well, it's going to be a little bit hard, taken out. It's not even a chance to cool slightly, but we don't have time to wait.
No.
And that, so I'm going to put a couple of them on there. And you got that sauce and that cheese on there. Oh, doesn't that look?
Looks wonderful.
Good. And what I would do with this, and when we go somewhere, I like, seafood enchiladas, but I like to garnish it with a little bit of lettuce and tomato, and you can actually garnish it with sour cream too. So let's just put a little bit of that on there. And it just gives it a little bit more color and just some great eye appeal.
Well, that and some nutritional value too. You have kind of like your little salad on top.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to just move this to the side just for a moment.
Okay.
And then another thing too, you don't need much more with that, but why don't you put a couple of carrot sticks and celery sticks on there and red pepper, and that looks like something I would really like to dig into.
That looks absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
And easy. Easy to do.
It was not difficult at all.
Not at all.
And so we have that there, and we have our fruit salsa and our chips. And just smell that salsa yet.
You do. It's wonderful. And we'd like to thank again Kim Berger for submitting the recipe for the fruit salsa. It's absolutely delicious. It's as good as I remember it. To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. Please submit your recipes for us to cook for you. And as always, we'd like to thank the Workshop as our sponsor. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thanks.